All right, folks, what is going on? Back with another video. Hopefully you guys are having a fantastic day. It is raining where I am right now, but hey, it doesn't matter. You know, that is the weather, right? It is what it is. um I want to thank everyone who has subscribed to the channel. We are now at 1,000+ subscribers. We finally made it over that threshold, and it's all thanks to you guys. You guys are absolutely awesome. I really appreciate it. Thank you for all the support, and we're going to keep on rolling with this gaming and everything under that umbrella. So hopefully you guys check out the other content I have, and I will be putting more content up probably later on today, and definitely this weekend we will be going live. So we'll be talking about some topics, playing some games, finishing up some games, and yeah, we're just gonna go with that route. So hopefully, like I said, you guys come through. Let's talk about the topic that came across my mind today: the end of consoles. Yes, this may be a thing, y'all. Like, seriously, this may be a real situation that could happen. There's been some reports out there, other content creators, people been talking about this. There may not be any consoles going forward. When we look at what's going on with Xbox, which technically that's not going to be a console, whatever they're trying to put out, it is a PC console hybrid. So I don't look at that as a, you know, traditional console. Nintendo is also doing their own thing. I don't think they're ever going to go back to the space where it's going to be a traditional console that you hook up to a television. They found so much success with the 3DS, the Switch 2. I don't see them going back to a traditional console anymore. And Sony, with the RAM prices, which that's the thing as well, the RAM prices are going up out of the roof, and other components are going up as well. And the PS6 may be delayed to 2029, maybe 2030. Now, we got to understand, this is 3-4 years away. And does that mean that the console may never come out? No, but usually when things are delayed like that, and if things don't get better, we're probably looking at a situation where the PC console hybrid may be the only thing that resembles a traditional console. So your PS5, PS4, Xbox One, I guess you could say the Xbox Series, you know, those type of, you know, technology or those type of mechanics may not even be around any longer. You know, we're probably just looking at, okay, like a PC console hybrid, to where it's basically a PC, and that's where you're going to get your games at. Now, when you look at even going as far back as the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, those are basically dumbed down PCs. All of these consoles are some form of a dumbed down PC, but when you really got into the PlayStation 4, Xbox One era, these were, you know, these were pieces of plastic that was basically a console, you know, condensed in a box. And they played like a console condensed in a box. This was like the moment I realized that this was like on par with your, you know, run-of-the-mill PC, is when I got a PlayStation 4 and I bought The Last of Us Remastered. And when that game started playing at a full, pretty much 60 frames per second, that's when I was like, okay, I'm going to build a PC. So around 2013, early 2014, I built my first PC, and that's where it was. So, and that's why I was saying, like, most of these consoles now, you look at the Series X, you look at the PS5, you look at PS5 Pro, you look at any of these consoles nowadays, that's what they look like. They're basically dumbed down, you know, gimped PCs. So now I don't see where there's a situation where these companies are going to continue to go that route. Maybe with the PS6, that may be the last one. I think Xbox is already out. They're out of the console business, and whatever they got going on with their next console hybrid that they're coming out with now, that is solely going to be a PC masquerading as a console. And that's what we're going to have now. So what does that mean in general? I look at it that where gaming is just going to be more consolidated. More games are going to be in other places and platforms. I do see a situation where everything that comes out of Xbox is really going to be on on PC. You still have a few games that are still locked to the Xbox One, Xbox Series console, but I don't think that's ever going to be the case again. I think everything that Xbox is doing is going to be on PC at this point, especially with the new person in charge and all that stuff. Sony is kind of leaning towards that as well, but they're just going to be timed exclusives. But I would not be surprised at some point where Sony be like, hey, we're just going to collaborate with Steam or whatever, and we're just going to make that move. I can see that happening at some point, because you also have to understand, like, with the RAM prices and other prices of components, it might not even be viable to keep things exclusive. It may not even be viable to keep a console, up and running. Because the only way, and I know people already said them 5 minutes in, and I know this has probably been a thing already. People are probably going to say that all this is going to change when the AI bubble pop, and that may well be true. It may well be true, and I'm that's what I'm banking on. I'm hoping that'll be the case, where the AI bubble pops and we get back to normal. But who's to say that these companies would just go back and do traditional consoles after that? You see what I'm saying? That's the part that I'm kind of worried about. Like, even once the AI bubble pop, does this mean they will go back to traditional consoles? That's where I'm sitting here thinking, like, this may be the end of consoles, the traditional sense, and where we're just going to get basic PC console hybrids, or just or their own mechanism. Like, let's just say, for instance, like the Steam machine. I could see us getting something like that. Now, is the Steam machine a console? I mean, I guess you could say, it looks like a GameCube, right? I guess you could say that. But I just feel like in the traditional sense, it's going to go by the wayside. Now, I could be wrong, but with the way that things are being delayed and pushed back, I don't know, man. I don't know, because, like, right now, you also have to think that consoles are being made, at a loss. A lot of consoles, I can't remember one console was made at a profit. All of them made at a loss, and you make money on the back end with software. And Sony is good at doing that. Sony was the mastery of that when the PlayStation 1 came out. And I think that's where it's always going to be. And if Sony's like, hey, if that's the case, why do we need to make, something like this when the prices of parts are just so expensive? So I don't know. Sony is a holdout. Nintendo, I don't see Nintendo ever going that route. Nintendo will continue to give you a Switch-like device, and you just continue to play their stuff the way it is. Sony's already dipped their toe in there. They're already there when it comes to PC gaming. So it would not, after what happened with Xbox and what happened with Blue Point Games and all that stuff, nothing surprised me anymore. Nothing surprised me. And I know a lot of people are going to sit here and be like, well, Sony is always going to be consoles. Think about all the ecosystem and all the people. Yeah, I get it. But that doesn't mean that everything's going to stay the way it is. Like I said, at the very least, Sony is probably going to make their version of a PC. and it's kind of already like that already. Like I said, with the PS4 and the PS5, they're like a PC anyway. They don't even feel like traditional consoles. I think the PlayStation 4 is probably like the last one that actually felt that unique. The PS5, it looks unique. But it doesn't feel that way to me. It doesn't feel like it's a console with a generation. The PlayStation 4 is synonymous with some phenomenal games, and having that console with the games felt like you owned something that was tangible. The PlayStation 5 just doesn't feel that way to me. And the Xbox hasn't been the same since the VCR. Maybe you could say the Xbox One X, but even with the series, they don't feel like consoles. They just feel like PCs. So I just feel like that the charm and the the uniqueness of a console, I think those days are long gone, especially with the way that things are now. I don't see it. It could be the end of consoles. PC console hybrid, or just, hey, we're just going to make our own thing and make it look like very close to a PC box or a computer box with a hard drive and a controller. But that's the way I look at it. You guys let me know what you think. Am I talking crazy? I know a lot of people are going to be feeling some type of way about this whole thing, because people love their consoles. I love consoles too. But I got to be honest and be like, hey man, this doesn't look really good. And I'll just hold on to the console that I have, and the consoles that I have are just phenomenal. But I don't think we'll ever get that again. But you guys let me know what you think. I'm going to get up out of here. It is about lunchtime, and these guys are unloading my truck, so I'm gonna be here for a minute. So I'm just gonna relax and chill out and watch some YouTube, and I'll be looking at your comments as well. Once again, thank you to everybody. 1,000 subs, man. We're already here, and we're gonna keep going forward and check out the content. All right, y'all. I'll see you on the next one. Y'all take it easy. Y'all be blessed. Peace.